another big result in the Champions League this week that I'm not sure if that many would have expected, or at least our Stuart Robson. Chelsea thrashing Barcelona at Stamford Bridge by 3-0. And this weekend, it's another big task for Chelsea, as it's the small matter of a London derby, as Arsenal will be facing Chelsea this weekend. And these are the predictions. Everyone except for Frank Leboeuf, shock, have gone for an Arsenal win. Craig?
Well, it's pretty simple, really. Arsenal are a better side, better in every position. Chelsea was a really good result against Barcelona, but Barcelona are horrendous defensively. Arsenal not. I think Chelsea can cause them some problems. I think midfield's going to be really interesting because Chelsea are strong in there, got some good players. Maybe Reece James will step in again. Who knows? Caicedo, Zubimendi, Enzo Fernandez, Declan Rice was great the other night again. Really dynamic. I think the midfield's going to be key for them. Can Saka push back Cucurella? All that sort of stuff. Can he? These one-on-one battles. But ultimately, Arsenal are stronger in every position.
I'm just going to pick Craig up on one position. Okay. One position I think that Chelsea are stronger. Caicedo, I think, is a better player than Zubimendi. But in all the other positions, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I'm not. No. I wasn't talking about individuals.
Yeah. All around the team.
Yeah. I was talking about, if you take Arsenal's midfield, take Arsenal's back four, take the front line. But I think Caicedo's a different player to Zubimendi. I think Zubimendi's a little bit more under the radar. Caicedo's more physical about the way he goes about it, breaks the game up a little bit more. Maybe Zubimendi a little tidier on the ball. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, it's.
And Frank just shouted out Cucurella, I could hear in the background, better than maybe Calafiori or Lewis, certainly better than Lewis Skelly at the moment.
I like Calafiori.
Yeah, me too.
Frank, you went for Chelsea, though.
The thing is that, yes, I went for Chelsea because, I should have gotten the same result as you did, guys. Because when we all predict the same thing, normally it happens the opposite. But realistically, I don't want no race. I want Arsenal to have trouble. I want to enjoy the Premier League. I don't want to see that being too easy. And Chelsea deserves some credit. And you don't win randomly against Barcelona. Even if Barcelona doesn't do well, yes, it's going to be different with Arsenal, but you don't win like that and keep on winning like that with against some of the teams without getting some credits. And you never know. It's going to be at Stamford Bridge. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Arsenal, they can struggle with players like Estêvão and Neto, very fast, small players, and very skillful. You can have a surprise. And I want to believe that my former blue team can do something who makes a race interesting.
Darky, how impressed were you by Chelsea against Barcelona this week?
Very impressed. I thought they absolutely battered Barcelona and completely exposed that high line, that they were playing a high line without any pressing going with it, which I think compounded Barcelona's problems in the game. That's another issue. I think Chelsea-Arsenal, it's an interesting game. I'm predicting Arsenal because they keep finding a way to get things done. They can win in different ways, as Stuart was saying earlier on in the programme. I do think Chelsea are coming of age, so my prediction isn't a completely confident one. I'm just thinking of that recent game where Sunderland gave the Arsenal defence a few problems in that 2-2 draw. So I think it's going to be a very tight game, not much in it at all, but the way Arsenal have gone this season, you probably always want to be on them. Could Chelsea win? Yeah, sure.
Get it, people make comparisons. Lamine Yamal's playing Estêvão. Estêvão's a great young player. Lamine Yamal's already won the Euros. He's already won the Spanish League. He's won the Spanish Super Cup. You could argue he could have won the Ballon d'Or, but Dembele was a...
And you and I watch him most weeks. We've seen him have absolutely magnificent games week in, week out.
They were 2-0 down in the final Clásico last year, and not quite single-handedly, but he just dragged this Barcelona team back in the Clásico to I think it was 4-3 in the end. Ian was there. It was just magnificent. So he has done it as a youngster. Now, has he gone off the ball a little bit or off the boil slightly? I think the answer is yes. Now, Robbo, you did the game last week against Athletic Club, and he's maybe starting to overcomplicate it a little bit.
Yeah, and I think he's put pressure on himself with all the things that happened with the Spanish team and not going there, and the club haven't helped that. And I just thought, the really good players, and he's a great player. You use the skill and your technique in moments where it matters, in and around the box. He was doing it on the halfway line, getting caught on the ball. A great coach that I played on, John Cartwright, used to say, don't play your ace all the time. Keep it back, and then when you need it, when it's the most important time, then throw your ace down. And that's what I think Yamal's just got to start to do a little bit more.
Well, Darky, you know that we watch Barcelona week in, week out under a magnifying glass with our La Liga coverage. And I think both you and Robba pointed out the fact that it's not just that they lost against Chelsea in the Champions League. It's how they lost against Chelsea in the Champions League and how other teams, even domestically, have been figuring out a way around them, especially when they can't always outscore all of their opponents. So is Barca's season, both in Europe and domestically, looking like it's a bit in danger?
Maybe not domestically, because I'm not sure too many of the teams in La Liga will be able to exploit them in the way that Chelsea did. But against the top teams coming to the knockout stages of the Champions League, and we assume Barcelona will be in that competition at that stage, I think they're going to have a problem, because people are going to play pacey types against them who'll just get in behind and exploit that. I mean, and there was one quite worrying bit, wasn't there, where Neto was in a foot race with Kubasi and completely left him for dead. So, is the recovery speed there as well when you're playing that high line? Yeah, I mean, it's something for Hansi Flick to think about, but I think he's thought about it and he's going to stick with exactly the way they play.
Just going to pick up on something Darky said there, and we were talking about it before the show. Remember, they lost 4-1 to Sevilla, and Sevilla were just cutting them open at will. And the game that you and I watched, Celta Vigo, the first half, it was some of the worst defending. So even teams in La Liga, as Stevie Nicol called it, Keystone, even teams in La Liga are now finding ways, the lower teams are finding ways to break them down.
The Sevilla game was earlier in the season, wasn't it? And it was equally as embarrassing. And you thought, well, that's the eye-opener. That's the moment.
If Sevilla are doing it against you, you've got a problem.
That's the moment where they're squeezing up and others are on. You think, right, okay, it's not wholesale changes, but it has to be some subtle changes, and they haven't. And then you have Hansi Flick coming out, and I don't know Hansi Flick. I never met the guy, but I like watching these teams play. If I'm a neutral,
it's great entertainment.
Exactly.
Oh, absolutely.
But when you're hiring and firing and you're under pressure. And you always are in Spain, as you are in most countries, particularly when you're at the big clubs, then you got to get the results. And the fact that he came off the international break and said, if we play, this would worry me. If we play how we played against Celta Vigo, we'll be fine the rest of the season. No. Yes, you scored goals against Celta Vigo, but you were horrendous at the back. Absolutely horrendous. Now, the one saving grace that they've got is Real Madrid are equally as poor, it seems, and have their own issues, which I won't really get into. So there's nobody there's not like an Arsenal at the moment, or like normally you get in France, PSG, who are off and running. I know it's a little bit tighter in France this year with Marseille and one or two others, but there's nobody out there just putting 7, 8, 9, 10 wins on the spin. That would really crank the pressure on. So they have that to be thankful for. But if he doesn't sort this defence out, A, I don't think he'll win La Liga, and B, they've not got a cat and hell's chance of winning the Championship.
And just remember, you can watch every La Liga game on ESPN Plus.
On ESPN Plus.
It's so bad, these two teams.
You can't, no, it's so bad. But they make things entertaining at least, right?
It's great entertainment, yeah.
It's great entertainment, indeed.
We shouldn't sit here and say they're great, because you were in Elche, Darky was doing the commentary, and they were horrendous.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, they were absolutely horrendous. And Barcelona,
but it makes for great entertainment at the moment.
Well,
for the neutral.
For the neutral.
It was a really good. It was a really good game that day down in Alicante, and Elche played some great stuff. As you guys know, you were there. Arguably should have won the game, but yeah, the fact that they have the deficiencies are something worth.
Oh, of course,
discussing.
Absolutely.
We would not be doing our job if we just buried it under the carpet and said, yeah, Real Madrid and Barca, they're great as sinks and sliced bread. No, they are not. But the other point is what we were talking about earlier, is come February, March, April, it doesn't look like it at the moment, but they may have figured something better out and be in a much better position. akin to what we're
Or
talking
we
about.
could be ending up with Hansi Flick gone and so Xabi Alonso gone at some point if they don't get results in the Champions League and don't get results in the
And Arne
Liga.
Slot gone. How many
Yeah,
years
that
ago?
could be every.
Who's going to be
Alonso,
around?
Alonso to Liverpool.
Alonso to Liverpool, I tell you what. Darky?
Or Hansi Flick to Liverpool. What Stuart forgot to mention is, in his big promo for ESPN Plus, all 380 games in La Liga are on ESPN.
And half of them commentated by Ian Dark. So, there we go.
I mean, come for Ian Dark, stay for the football and the entertainment.
I mean, if I was guessing, I'd say there's contracts coming up for renewal.
It looks like he's got athletic club's shirt on behind him.
They're
Isn't it?
probably not going to get renewed, though.
We will always
come on, we
renew
can't
your
have that,
contract.
Darky, come on.
La Liga coverage without Darky's voice? Come on. Is that even La Liga anyways? Well, speaking of La Liga, it is back this weekend. Robert, which game are you on?
I'm on Sevilla versus Real Betis.
All right.
15 English time.
And are you with Darky?
No, I'm not with Darky. I'm with Rob Palmer.
No. All right, well, tune in
Darky
on
gets
Sunday.
the big one.
Darky gets the big one indeed. We will see exactly what happens this weekend. Barcelona going up against Alaves, and then on Sunday, Girona against Real Madrid. That's 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. You know where.
From Reece James, glided past Pau Cubarsí like he wasn't even there, then left Alejandro Balde on his backside before absolutely smashing it into the top corner. Pure filth, that was. And this is exactly why Chelsea fought so hard to sign this lad. But here's the thing that really matters. If you enjoyed what you just watched and want to stay updated on all things Chelsea, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. We're bringing you the latest news, tactical breakdowns, and exclusive content you won't find anywhere else. Trust me, with the way this season's going, you don't want to miss a single upload. Now, let's get back to the Barcelona match. The scoreline tells one story, but the performance tells another. Chelsea didn't just beat Barcelona, they completely outclassed them in every department. Marc Cucurella was immense down that left side. Enzo Fernandez controlled the midfield like a conductor. And even without Cole Palmer, the Blues showed they've got depth and quality throughout the squad. That's what Maresca's building here, a proper team where it's not just about one player carrying us. Barcelona went down to 10 men when Ronald Araujo got his marching orders for a second yellow card, but honestly, Chelsea were already dominant with 11 on the pitch. Liam Delap came off the bench and tucked away the third goal, and suddenly you're looking at a Chelsea side that's got options all over the park. This isn't the same Chelsea that struggled last season. This is a team with identity, with purpose, with real belief. But the pundits on ESPN FC made some interesting points, didn't they? Frank Leboeuf, the Chelsea legend himself, said the Blues deserve credit for this result. You don't randomly beat Barcelona, even if they're having defensive issues, and he's spot on. Some people want to dismiss this win because Barcelona's defense has been shaky. But come on, you still have to go out there and do it. Chelsea created chance after chance, kept 3 clean sheets in a row now, and moved up to 5th in the Champions League standings. The ESPN lads also highlighted something crucial. This Barcelona side might be entertaining, but they're getting carved open by anyone with pace. Sevilla did it earlier in the season, Celta Vigo exposed them, and now Chelsea have done the same. When you've got players like Estêvão, Pedro Neto, and the returning talents in this squad, you're going to cause problems for any high line. And that's exactly what happened. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This weekend, Chelsea face their biggest test yet, Arsenal at Stamford Bridge. The Gunners are sitting top of the Premier League, and they're coming to West London full of confidence. But after that Barcelona performance, you have to fancy Chelsea's chances, don't you? Arsenal are a brilliant side, make no mistake. They've got quality in every position, they're defensively solid, and they know how to win tight matches. But Chelsea have something special brewing here. The energy at Stamford Bridge is going to be absolutely electric after that Champions League result. Can Maresca's men carry that momentum into the biggest London derby of the season? The midfield battle is going to be absolutely crucial. Moises Caicedo against Declan Rice, Enzo Fernandez up against Martin Zubimendi. These are the duels that'll decide the match. Some of the ESPN pundits reckon Arsenal are stronger in every position. But I'm not having that. Caicedo's been absolutely phenomenal this season, breaking up play, driving forward, dictating the tempo. He's every bit as good as what Arsenal have got in there, and let's talk about Estêvão for a minute. Maresca's been managing his minutes carefully, rotating him in and out to protect that young body. But after Tuesday night, after that goal, and that performance, Chelsea fans are going to be screaming for him to start against Arsenal. The question is whether the gaffer trusts him for back-to-back massive matches. It's a big call, but what a problem to have, eh? The stats don't lie, though. Chelsea have only won one of their last 11 Premier League matches against Arsenal. The Gunners haven't lost at Stamford Bridge in their last 6 visits. That's a proper mental block that needs breaking. But if there's ever been a time to do it, it's now. Chelsea are flying, confidence is sky high, and the squad's starting to click in a way we haven't seen in years. Maresca's got some big decisions to make. Does Liam Delap start after his goal against Barcelona, or does he go with Pedro Neto as a false 9 again? Who partners Wesley Fofana in defense? Does Reece James stay at right back after his performance against Barca? These are the tactical puzzles that'll define this match. What we do know is this. Chelsea are no longer the soft touch they were last season. This is a team that's found its identity under Maresca. They press with intensity, they play out from the back with confidence, and they've got match winners all over the pitch. Even without Cole Palmer fully fit, they've shown they can dismantle elite opposition. Arsenal will be tough. They always are under Mikel Arteta. But after what we saw against Barcelona, Chelsea have every right to believe they can get a result. The atmosphere is going to be bouncing, the players are full of confidence, and Stamford Bridge under the lights for a massive derby? That's when magic happens. This feels like a proper statement match for Chelsea. Win this, and suddenly you're not just dark horses, you're genuine contenders. The gap to Arsenal would shrink, the belief would grow, and the rest of the Premier League would have to take notice. This is Chelsea's moment to show they're not just good, they're elite. So there you have it, Chelsea's magnificent night against Barcelona, and now the ultimate test against Arsenal awaits. What a time to be a Blues fan. The team's playing brilliant football, young talents are emerging, and we're watching something special being built at Stamford Bridge. Make sure you're subscribed because this season's going to be one hell of a ride.